Breaking news! Things are heating up fast in Miami Gardens, and what's happening at Dolphins training camp might just change everything we thought we knew about this team heading into the season. There's a new energy on the field, battles are getting intense, and some unexpected names are standing out in ways that could completely shake up the depth chart. But at the same time, there are serious concerns that nobody in the front office seems to be addressing, and if Chris Grier keeps sitting on his hands, it could cost the Dolphins their shot at the Super Bowl. Yeah, I said it. Grier should have been fired already. But here we are, still watching him make moves that feel more like patchwork than championship building. I'm about to break down all the behind-the-scenes details that you won't want to miss. But before we dive in, hit that like button if you're a real Dolphins fan who bleeds aqua and orange, and drop this in the comments. Go Dolphins! We can make the Super Bowl! Now let's get to it, because some of what's going down in camp right now is going to surprise you, and maybe even worry you. Are the Dolphins really ready to take the next step? Or are we seeing the first cracks in a team that might be one injury away from falling apart? Now, let's get into the action. Day 2 of training camp brought some serious intensity. Tua Tagovailoa looked sharp, and the chemistry with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is heating up. One of the best throws of the day was a high-anticipation endbreaker to Tyreek that could have gone for a huge catch and run, while Waddle hauled in a deep cross with a sliding sideline grab. This offense, when clicking, can be explosive, and you can feel that energy building. Ollie Gordon flashed some impressive runs, and rookie Jalen Wright showed great vision cutting back through lanes created by an offensive line that, believe it or not, seems to finally be getting some push off the line of scrimmage. Yes, it's still early, and pads aren't on yet, but there's no denying the movement up front looks different. But let's not kid ourselves, the defense came to play too. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb both had strong days, with Chubb beating rookie Patrick Paul on an inside move that forced Tua to throw the ball away. And speaking of Patrick Paul, he's turning heads early. The rookie is beaming with confidence, having worked every single day at the facility with Jonah Savania to build chemistry. Paul even admitted he's a film junkie, studying all 31 starting left tackles in the league last year, focusing on guys like Trent Williams to refine his craft. That's the kind of dedication you want to see from a young lineman who could have a major role this season. On defense, Kader Kohou continues to show growth. His pass breakup on Tyreek Hill during an in-breaking route was textbook, and there's a real sense he's finally comfortable in this system. Last season's struggles seemed to be more about processing and zone responsibilities than physical talent, and right now, his confidence is shining through. The cornerback room is going to be one of the most competitive battles in camp, and everyone's fighting for a spot. Now, let's talk about Mike McDaniel. The man is changing his approach. For the first time in my experience watching him at practice, he stopped the music, gathered the team, and fired them up before key offense versus defense periods. He yelled, "Who wants it more?" and pushed the intensity in a way we haven't seen from him before. This is the kind of leadership Dolphins fans have been waiting to see, less of the laid-back genius and more of the demanding head coach who understands the urgency of the moment. One of the more fascinating stories from camp involves veteran leader Zach Sealer, who's handling his contract situation like a pro. He's not letting negotiations become a distraction and is focused on building chemistry with young defensive linemen like Kenneth Grant. Sealer talked about setting picks and running twists to free up his teammates, something he excels at but doesn't get enough credit for. This is the kind of leadership and team-first mentality that defines a true defensive cornerstone. Now for a move that might irritate some of you, the Dolphins signed Cornell Armstrong to fill in after Artie Burns went down. Yeah, I know, it's not the big cornerback signing fans wanted, and honestly, this feels like a depth and special teams move rather than a game changer. Artie Burns probably wasn't going to make this team anyway, especially with younger corners like Cam Smith, Jason Marshall, and Ethan Bonner competing for spots. But the fact remains, the Dolphins still need a legitimate starting caliber cornerback, and if Chris Grier doesn't get this done, it's going to be another strike against him. Grier is running out of excuses, and fans are tired of watching him gamble with roster depth at crucial positions. And here's where things get even more interesting, because the deeper you look into these training camp battles, the more you realize how much is riding on Mike McDaniel's ability to push this roster beyond its limits. The competition is fierce, and the energy on the field feels different from previous camps. But will it be enough? That's the big question every fan is asking. Let's keep talking about Patrick Paul for a moment because this rookie might be the X factor on the offensive line. The Dolphins are clearly banking on youth up front, and Paul's confidence is something you can't ignore. He's already transforming his body, cutting down fat and adding muscle, which shows he's taking this opportunity seriously. And here's something fans should love. Paul studies tape on every left tackle in the league. He specifically mentioned Trent Williams, which tells you he's aiming high. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. He still has to prove he can handle elite pass rushers consistently. And Bradley Chubb's inside win on him is a reminder that NFL edge rushers will test him every single play. And what about Chop Robinson? He's hearing all the noise about his supposed struggles against the run, and he's taking it personally. Chop fired back, saying there's plenty of film showing him setting the edge and forcing runs back inside. He's working on his disengagement, which could turn him into an absolute nightmare for offenses if he gets it right. This defense, with a healthy Phillips, Chubb, and a motivated Robinson, could be dangerous, but again, the depth in the secondary remains a glaring concern. Speaking of the secondary, Kader Kohou's growth is one of the best storylines in camp. His improved confidence in Vic Fangio's system last year took time, but now he looks like the reliable corner the Dolphins desperately need. But let's not sugarcoat it, this cornerback room is far from settled. Cornell Armstrong? Come on! That's not the move that's going to get fans excited, and everybody knows it. Artie Burns' injury might not change much because he was on the bubble anyway, but the fact that Grier hasn't made a serious move for a proven veteran corner is frustrating. The Dolphins are playing with fire if they think they can rely solely on improving young guys to get through a long season. Now, let's not forget about Zach Sealer. This guy continues to be the kind of leader you want in the locker room. During his media availability, he talked about how the culture this year is about not letting issues fester. If something's wrong, you call it out immediately. That's huge because past Dolphins teams have had a tendency to fall apart internally when adversity hits. Sealer's commitment to the team, even while in the middle of contract negotiations, speaks volumes. He's out there building chemistry with both veterans and rookies, showing why he's one of the most respected guys on this defense. And then there's Mike McDaniel. This new, more vocal version of him is exactly what fans have been waiting to see. Stopping the music, challenging players, creating intense offense versus defense scenarios. This is what great coaches do when they know the stakes are high. Mike knows this roster is talented enough to compete, but only if he squeezes every ounce of potential out of it. But let's circle back to Chris Grier because no matter how hard McDaniel pushes, Grier's roster-building decisions could make or break this season. Signing Cornell Armstrong doesn't inspire confidence, and it feels like he's gambling once again that the young players will step up instead of ensuring proven depth. Fans aren't stupid. They've seen this story before, and it doesn't end with a Lombardi trophy. That's the heart of the debate right now, and it's a debate that every true Dolphins fan is having. Can this team, as it's currently constructed, survive the grind of a full NFL season and still have enough firepower to make a legitimate Super Bowl push? Or are we staring at another year where we fall just short because of poor roster management at the top? The truth is, Mike McDaniel can only coach the players he has, and while his energy and adjustments are promising, you can't coach depth that isn't there. Look at this roster objectively. The offense is elite when healthy. Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, and an improving run game with guys like Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright could make this one of the most dynamic units in the league. But that's only if the offensive line holds up. Terron Armstead's health is always a question, and now the Dolphins are leaning heavily on Patrick Paul and other young linemen to hold the fort. Paul might develop into a star, but he's still a rookie, and the thought of Tua taking unnecessary hits because of growing pains up front is nerve-wracking. One bad game from this line, and we know how quickly things can unravel. Defensively, the front seven has the potential to be dominant. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and a motivated Chop Robinson could terrorize quarterbacks, and Zach Sealer continues to be the rock of this defense. But let's be real, the secondary is a potential disaster if injuries hit. Kader Kohou looks great right now, and Cam Smith has the talent to step up, but outside of them, it's a gamble. Cornell Armstrong isn't moving the needle, and relying on young and proven players in a pass-heavy AFC could come back to haunt this team in the worst way. And that's why Chris Grier continues to be a sore spot for this fan base. Grier has had years to build a championship-caliber roster, and while the stars are undeniable, the